Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're a focus-driven person who is just absolutely exhausted by endless to-do lists, if you're constantly feeling like you're falling behind even though you're literally working nonstop, well, you've landed in exactly the right place today. We're going to break down a really structured framework for escaping that overwhelming busy trap. We are completely re-engineering how you look at productivity today, drawing on some powerful source material that proves doing less is, believe it or not, the actual secret to achieving exponentially more.
To kick things off, let's talk about $240,000. Now, what's really fascinating about this number isn't just the sheer amount of cash, it's the story behind it. Our source material details this amazing journey of a creator who went from making $120,000 one year to completely doubling her income to $240,000 the very next year. And here's the kicker. She didn't do it by working twice as many hours or, frantically launching 10 new products. No way. She achieved this jaw-dropping transformation by making exactly one fundamental habit change.
See, before she made that big change, she was trapped in what we can call the downward spiral of busy. And you know this feeling, right? It's when you're trying to start a podcast, a YouTube channel, and a new Instagram page all at exactly the same time. You're endlessly tweaking your brand colors, scrolling social media, comparing yourself to everyone else, and trying to wake up at 5 a.m. chugging 3 iced coffees just to try and fit it all in. I mean, it is a fast track to total burnout. But contrast that with the upward spiral of success. This is where we actually want you to be. It's all about radical focus, finding high-leverage activities, and working on just one imperative task. It's freeing, it's efficient, and it's exactly what we are going to unpack today.
So here is our quick 5-step roadmap to get you into that upward spiral. Number 1, the busy trap. 2, forget doing it all. 3, ask better questions. 4, the magic question. And finally, 5, commit to your focus. Let's just dive right in.
Step 1, the busy trap. This is the productivity illusion.
Let's be real for a second. If you are constantly downloading new Notion dashboards, reorganizing your Google Calendar for the 5th time this week, or forcing yourself to wake up before dawn, but you're still seeing absolutely zero real growth in your business, it's not a lack of effort. You're just conflating being busy with actually being productive. The reality is, we all have a finite amount of time and energy every single day. We don't have some limitless battery to conquer the world. When you try to do 15 things at once, you might make, 10% progress on each of them, and a bunch of unfinished tasks simply do not move the needle. But if you channel that exact same finite energy into just one thing, you hit 100% progress. Hyperfocus guarantees completion, whereas trying to do it all, that just guarantees exhaustion.
Which leads us perfectly into step 2. Forget doing it all. This requires a major mindset shift.
The absolute biggest misconception in business, and honestly just in life, is that success means doing everything all the time as fast as humanly possible forever. We have got to banish that idea completely, because the truth is, not all tasks are created equal. This is the Pareto principle in action, the concept that 20% of your inputs lead to 80% of your results. Some efforts simply give you much higher leverage. Think about it, spending an hour perfecting a tiny drop shadow on your logo that literally nobody will ever notice, very low leverage. But spending that exact same hour reaching out to past clients for referrals, that is high leverage. That is your 20%. There's this fantastic quote that hits the nail right on the head. Success is about doing the right thing, not about doing everything right. Honestly, I really want you to hammer that into your brain. If you're feeling stuck right now, it's probably because you're trying to do every little thing perfectly rather than just taking a step back to figure out the one right move.
Okay, step 3, ask better questions so we can actually find that 20% leverage.
So, how do we actually find that one right move? Well, to find our leverage, we have to completely change the way we interrogate our own goals. I want you to think of your brain like a super powerful computing machine. It's designed to answer whatever prompt you feed into it. If you ask it a really vague, chaotic question like, how can I do everything? Well, it's going to try its best to give you an answer. It's going to tell you to sleep less, buy another expensive productivity app, and work straight through the weekend. It gives you the wrong answer purely because you asked it the wrong question.
Instead, you got to ask big, specific questions based entirely on your current stage of business. Like, if you're in stage 1, just starting out, your question shouldn't be, how do I make $1 million? It should be, how can I get $1,000 just to validate my idea? That forces a specific action, like cold pitching, instead of, tweaking your website fonts for hours. If you're in stage 2, ask, how can I get in front of 10 ideal clients today? And if you're in stage 3, scaling up, ask, how can I delegate 80% of my tasks this month? See the difference? Specific questions generate actionable, high-leverage answers.
All right, moving to step 4, the magic question. This is the core of the upward spiral.
Now that we know how to ask better questions, let's introduce the absolute core of this entire framework. This is the piece that makes the whole puzzle click together. Really let this sink in. What is the one thing I can do, such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary? Notice the question isn't, how much caffeine can I legally consume so I can finish my 50-item to-do list? I want to challenge you to apply this to your own life right now. If your main goal is to land your first freelance client, is building a massive custom-coded website your one thing? Definitely not. Simply reaching out to your existing network is probably the one thing that actually brings in cash, making the fancy website completely unnecessary for right now. And hey, if you're having trouble identifying your one thing, look at people you admire and find their first domino. Take Ali Abdaal's journey, for instance. He didn't launch a course, write a best-selling book, and do international press tours all at the same time. His step 1, his one thing, was simply starting a YouTube channel. That single focused action knocked over the next domino, which was building audience trust. And because he had that trust, step 3, launching a course in the book, became incredibly easy. Finding your first true step knocks down all those massive milestones later on.
Which brings us to the final piece, step 5. Commit to your focus and execute the magic.
Look, identifying your one thing is great, but actually executing it, that's where the magic happens. And let's be totally honest with each other here. Saying no to everything else is brutally hard. It is so much easier to hide behind comfortable busy work than to commit to the one scary task that actually moves the needle. But look what happens when you do commit. Remember our creator from the beginning who doubled her income? Her one thing was YouTube. That's it. She aggressively said no to everything else. Actually, scratch that. She even turned down sponsorships initially just to focus purely on making better videos. And the tangible results? By acting like a laser beam instead of a scattered light, everything else happened automatically. She got natural networking, brand sponsorships flowed in, she built an amazing community, and a literary agent literally reached out to her for a book deal. Now, you might be listening to this and thinking, okay, that sounds great, but I do not have the time to dedicate to just one thing. And I hear you. Ideally, yeah, you'd time block 4 hours a day for your essential task. But if you're side hustling or juggling a full-time job and a family, please don't let that number discourage you. Committing just 15 unbroken, fiercely protected minutes a day to your one thing is totally enough to build life-changing momentum over time. It's really about the consistency of the habit, not just the sheer volume of hours. So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. What is your imperative one thing today? What is the single action you can take right now to make absolutely everything else easier or unnecessary? I challenge you to whittle down that massive to-do list until you are left with just that one essential task. Oh, and by the way, if you find yourself still deeply struggling with that overwhelming compulsion to do it all, I highly recommend checking out a book mentioned in our source material called 4,000 Weeks. It will completely shift your perspective on productivity. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Stay focused out there, and I'll catch you next time.